So.
Yes, yes, they will.
Well, if I may ask a question here, why are we paying for SR-14?
Well, it has to do with franchise agreements. So if we have a utility crossing on the highway, then there's a franchise agreement that we sign, that if they do any upgrades to the highway or modify it, that we will bring our utilities up to standard. So we have some water line that we'd like to increase capacity for future. And then also we want to slip line our sewer line that crosses there, because we'll have extra loading from the grade separated crossings. There'll be extra loading on that sewer line, so we want to make sure and slip that.
So it's an opportunity for us, since the trenches are open, to do this.
That's correct.
Yes.
Wasn't the other part of that with the rezoning of the property at Hamilton Brothers and all of that down there, that's waterfront commercial, that'd be a great time to upgrade those lines for future development as well, correct?
Yes, thanks, Rod, yes.
This is budgeted, that's correct, is that correct? It says it's budgeted on the agenda bill?
Yes.
Where, in the budget, or which fund would this be?
Be under the utilities capital improvements.
Okay.
Any other questions for Jim on this go around? Certainly more information coming, sounds like. Okay, and item number 6, setting a public hearing.
Yes, staff is submitting a request to set a public hearing to invite comment on the proposed water, sewer, stormwater rate increases for fiscal year 2011. So recommended action to set a public hearing for 7 p.m. on November 15th. Any questions on that?
The only questions that I have is that we were told at that time we'll have some comparisons for residential. In other words, we talk about a percentage increase, but there were going to be some water bills that were going to be, it's a $3 increase instead of a 13.5% increase. So, and the same with the commercial, we'll have those same examples.
We'll have those on the 8th for you.
8th? Okay.
In work session, right?
Okay.
Prior to the hearing.
Just a comment,
Sure.
great idea, public hearing, let's hear from the voters.
Don't have a choice.
I think it's required.
Okay, and hopefully one of the last items on this copier.
We do thank you very much for the copier. It's really been helpful, very productive. Staff is requesting a public hearing to invite public comment, allowing the Public Works Department to surplus our failing Sharp copier. So on September 20th, 2010, council and mayor agreed that the Public Works Department could lease the new Konica Minolta copier, which had been exhibiting operational failure. Yeah, it was terrible. We are required under RCW to hold a public hearing if we want to surplus an item that came through enterprise funds. So the water sewer fund paid for it originally, and so we were required to hold a public hearing. And that's our recommended action, is to open a public hearing. Any questions on that?
Didn't we do this last week? Or, oh, okay.
That was,
Right. It's just that because it's going to be on there next week, our protocol is to just have a reminder that the workshop trial. So, yeah, multiple meetings.
Okay. Jim, 20 years ago, during my doctoral studies, there was an example given about the effectiveness and efficiency of organizations at Boeing. And it required 3 levels of management to authorize a can of paint, which was required for the types of projects they were doing. Somebody had to authorize it. That was given as the prime example of ineffective and inefficient management. the requirement that the state imposes on us to hold a public hearing to dispose of a $5,000 item trumps that. I'm gonna write that up and send it in.
Yeah, that's probably not worth $50. $5,000 when we bought it, $50 now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we should definitely, though, make sure that we're copying all of the agenda bills for that item off of that copier, though. Get the last little bit of use out of it.
Jim, I have a question about, not the public hearing piece, but suppose it goes on sale or surplus and there are no bidders. Does the city have the, I mean, are we able to say, take it to, I think it's called Empower now, it's the old Cream?
Yeah, they'll actually come pick it up
Okay.
and dispose of it. It's a recycle, so,
Okay.
and no
All right.
charge.
Give it to the
That would
police
be my-
department.
Yeah.
I'm not making eye
Says
contact
the
with him, but
firefighter.
Any last items on, or any last questions on the old copier? Good. Camas Washougal Municipal Court Interlocal Agreement. Chief Mitchell? Thanks, Jim.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. The agenda bill you have before you is kind of the next step in the progression from keeping courts local. And when we met with the county, it was decided that they would, the goal would be to get from them just the bodies, and that we would take over the operation of the building, the facilities, the maintenance, and the grounds. And this interlocal agreement with Camas would act as a host city. They would take care of all of those things and then bill the city for that portion of it. So we're still paying for it in the past. It was the county receiving all of that money. And this way, it kind of allows us to be in control of some of these other costs, and the idea that we can keep some of those costs down, certainly some of the overheads that we would charge from the county. Any questions?
the last sentence in that summary statement, the city of Camas shall submit quarterly billings to the city of Washougal based upon the costs and expenses. Are those fixed numbers, or is that number going to change every quarter that, based on other criteria?
It should stay, my understanding on it is it should stay pretty much fixed for the year, because some of the fractional cost shares have to do with the tickets will have to go through the courts. So we're going to look at that on a yearly basis. So as it starts to go up during the year, I don't think the intention was that we would react with quite that quickly. So, because there's factors, a number of officers, the number of tickets that you ride, that sort of thing goes into this. So we would look at that on an annual basis.
With our budget coming up, there's obviously a number in there to take care of this.
Yes.
And hopefully it comes in lower than that budgeted number, but it certainly has a chance or the ability to come in higher than that budgeted number as well.
With all of the calculations that we put into it to begin with, it should come in under what we have budgeted.
Now, I have 100% faith in the city of Camas, but I just want to make sure that this has been reviewed by our legal counsel.
Yes.
And
I sent it to Don, had him look at it, and he didn't see any problems with
okay.
it. So,
Is there, the more traffic tickets you have to try, the more expensive it is for the court, but is there, do we also get some revenue from that?
sure we do.
Dave?